Ready for a great betting tip? A real betting tip that you can actually specifically bet this season and profit from, and many seasons into the future?
One thing we know about MLB teams is when they enjoy a big win by scoring a lot of runs, like 10 runs or more, they can be expected to experience a regression in the very next game. This is commonly referred to by professional sports bettors as letdown factor. Let's use the LA Dodgers for example. This is 2025. Let's find a game in which they scored 10 runs or more and see what happened. On May the 3rd, they played Atlanta and won, scoring 10 runs. And the very next game, they lost 3-4. Let's find their next one. On May the 7th, they beat the Miami Marlins, scoring 10 runs, and lost the next game 3-5. And to their next big win, on May the 15th, they scored 19 runs against the Athletics. The very next game, they lost 2-6. The takeaway: it's not a good idea to bet on a team right after a big offensive performance, except for one team that defies this normal behavior. One team in the MLB consistently plays even more aggressively after they score 10 runs or more. Why does this team do this? It's unclear, but it makes for a very lucrative betting strategy. And this brings us to the best MLB betting tip on YouTube. Here you go.
When the New York Yankees score 10 runs or more, bet on them the very next game. Again, bet on the Yankees the game immediately following a game in which they score 10 runs. That's the strategy. It's that simple. Boom. No effort, no think, no calculations. Now this strategy is subject to 3 caveats, which I will get to in just a moment. But this is a wager you can make right now this season and many seasons to come. We discovered it. Now you can profit from it. It's profit in your pocket. Remember where you heard it. I'm J.V. Miller. My family has been betting on sports professionally for 5 decades. More professional sports bettors rely on my advice than any strategist in the world. So how much did this strategy win the last few years? Going back 5 seasons, the Yankees won 68% of those games, and they won by 2 runs more than 58% of the time.
Look what happens when you bet the run line, laying 1.5 runs following a game in which they won, scoring 10 runs or more. In other words, instead of the money line, wherein the Yankees just have to win straight up, what if we up the ante and bet the run line? Now the Yankees have to win by 1.5 runs, resulting in a higher payout for us. Oh, and let's not go back just 1 or 2 years, or 3, or 4. To demonstrate just how valuable this betting strategy is, let's go back 8 seasons to find out what the return was for us and our subscribers betting this system. Brace yourself. In 2025, this system generated 17 wagers. The Yankees won 13 times, but we're only looking right now at those games they won by more than 1.5 runs. There were 10. For a $1,000 bettor, this generated $6,700 in profit. Let's go back to 2024. The system generated 14 wagers. Had you bet the run line, you would have won 8 times, resulting in a profit of $4,960. Going back to 2023, the system generated 5 wagers. Not too many games in which the Yankees scored 10 or more runs that year. Bad year for the Yankees. But 4 out of 5 of the wagers won, grossing $4,480 in profit for $1,000 bettors. The year before, 2022, the strategy called for 15 wagers. The run line won 10 times for a profit of a whopping $8,700. The year before, 2021, 5 wagers, 3 of them won, profit $2,110. In 2020, which was COVID, the strategy lost $1,300, the only year in 8 years it failed to generate a profit. In 2019, there were 18 wagers, 9 won for a profit of $2,330. And in 2018, there were 13 wagers, 6 won for a profit of $1,720. So, going back 8 seasons, simply betting on the Yankees on the game following a game in which they won, scoring 10 or more runs, you would have won almost $30,000. Let that land.
Here's why this system is so special. Most MLB teams underperform after an explosive offensive performance. Historically, for most teams, there's regression, emotional letdown, fatigue, but not the Yankees. Across multiple seasons, uniquely, the Yankees do not follow that pattern. Instead of regressing, they maintain momentum at a statistically significant rate. So these outcomes are unexpected. And when you can predict an outcome that is unexpected by most everyone else, you have a real money-making opportunity on your hands. Why do they do this, the Yankees? Well, it's hard to say why. We can only theorize why. In fact, if you have an idea why the Yankees win after scoring 10 runs or more when most teams regress, please share it in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas. The fact is we don't really need to know. We'd like to know, but we don't need to. We just need to know that it is in fact occurring, and it is. What matters is sample size, logic, and repeatability. And that's what makes it a winning strategy and not just an anomaly. It's an asset that has value. And this is just one example. We have dozens of strategies just like this that we share with our subscribers. Now, the 3 caveats I talked about. First, these bets are contingent on 3 things. Number 1, if they're favored, bet the run line, laying 1.5 runs. If they're the dog, bet the money line. So your bet on the Yankees under this system should always be at plus 100 or more. Number 2, they must have won the game in which they scored the 10 runs or more, which usually is the case after making 10 runs, but not always. And number 3, if they score 10 runs or more in back-to-back games, we do not bet the second occurrence.
This is a bet packed with positive expected value. People like to give complicated explanations of positive expected value in sports betting. Just remember, it simply means you believe the odds and payout of a wager are different than what the market indicates. In other words, you have an inside track that the masses don't have. Taking a position that is opposite the market typically pays much higher returns than a position that is in agreement with the market. In other words, outsmart the market and get paid. One way to locate this positive expected value is to find misjudgment on behalf of the market being the masses of sports bettors around the world. When the market has an incorrect view of what's going to happen, and you have a correct view, you could be rewarded very nicely if you're right. In sports betting, just picking winners is never enough. If you just pick winners that everyone else picked, then you have risked very little, and very little is what you'll be paid. For sports betting to be profitable, you've got to spot misjudgment on behalf of the market. And that's what this betting tip does. Most bettors think the Yankees will be regressing after a big double-digit run performance. Oh, but you know something different. You now know the Yankees get fired up after a double-digit run performance. And that knowledge is worth a lot of money. You can convert this knowledge I just gave you into cash in your pocket this season over and over again, depending on how many times the Yankees score 10 runs or more. This has been a fruitful and productive 8 minutes. This is what we teach how to do at the link below.
If you like this betting tip on the New York Yankees and you'd like to hear more, click subscribe, hit like, and leave a comment. When you're a subscriber, you're an insider. Thank you and good luck.